Good morning students. In today's class we are going to see the second half of your module 3, that is pathway for designing the smart grid. Introduction to smart grid pathway design, barriers and solution to smart grid development, solution to pathway for designing smart grid using advanced tools, optimization and control technique for selection function. So first we will see the introduction to smart grid pathway. The design of smart grid involves coupling of tools, technologies and techniques. We will develop an algorithm which will support the computational tools for smart grid development. When you consider a smart grid, then it will have a human interface section, that is communication part will also be available in the system. When you are designing any system, you have to check for the power optimization, whether the data is communicated properly to the end users. So all these parameters has to be taken into account. After for that, what is the exact tools and technologies that has to be incorporated in the smart grid that is involved in this smart grid pathway design. How exactly, where to connect the meters? For example, you have an input source, you have an output source, in between you have a inverter feedback path. So all are one to one connected. So to have the complete design, to make the design concept complete in all aspects, we need to have a communication tool, computational tool, and also the corresponding smart grid implemented should be updated with the recent technology. We have to look into all the factors when we are going for the smart grid pathway design. In this, we will develop a certain algorithm for power optimization, and this power optimization will involve certain algorithm. The algorithm needs some data. Using the data, a fitness function will be evaluated. Fitness function will be framed. Once the fitness function is framed, then it will be evaluated. Based on the evaluation, you will check whether the system has got the optimized solution or not. So what we have to do in the sense, we have to write an algorithm using that pathway design data which will support your computational tools for smart grid development. Next is, due to the increased availability of real-time or near real-time data and signals, it is necessary to reinvestigate the most suitable method or technique that will allow for handling the dynamics and stochasticity of the smart grid. So when you are taking the grid into an account, you will consider a real time data or near to that real time data, because in some way we cannot measure the power. For example, if you consider the transformer, directly you cannot connect the instrument to the transformer. Through some means we have to connect the transformer. Smart meters needs to be connected near to the transformer, and somehow real time data has to be taken into account to write an algorithm that is utilized by the computational tool. So once it is utilized, we have to investigate it. That is, once the fitness function is framed, then we need to evaluate the fitness function. To evaluate the fitness function, we have to investigate whether the optimal solution is obtained or not. If obtained, then you can go for the next step. If not, then you have to go on with the next iteration steps, which is going to give the most accurate near value for that power optimization. So we have to select the technique in such a way that it will be handling your dynamics and stochasticity of the connected grid. Barriers to the smart grid development are developed based on the current and existing power system structure. So barriers of the smart grid will be developed based on your current and existing grid power system structure. Now barriers and solution to the smart grid development is as shown in the figure. So it is having four layers. One is system planning and maintenance. Second one, energy auction level. Third is going to be system operation level. Fourth is going to be the device level. So when you consider the system planning and maintenance level, it is going to give too many decision makers, local opposition to the new plans and lines, uncertainty in planning data like regional growth cost, lack of predictive real-time system controls, limit capacity of the present grid, focus onto the supply side reliability solution. So when you consider this system planning and maintenance level, it has to focus on all the data that has been mentioned over here. When you are planning a system, what type of architecture we are going to use, whether the architecture what we have planned is suitable according to the Department of Energy office, because just like that we cannot implement the plan, or just like that we cannot implement the action. We have to frame all the policies, we have to follow all the policies that has been framed by the Department of Energy, and we have to find the decision, like many decision will be taken by ourselves, or any decision need to be taken by the government or the policy owned person. We need to send a request, we have to send a quotation to them stating that these things are planned in our system, so whether it can be possible according to the rules and regulations framed by Department of Energy. So all these things will be taken into account in case of your system planning and maintenance level. Maintenance level in the sense, how many months once the maintenance has to be done, how many months once the meters connected to the grid has to be calibrated, whether the meters connected at the grid system is at proper level, whether the meters connected is calibrated properly and the record is maintained properly. For transformers, the transformer oil has to be changed, what is the maintenance that is owned by the transformer. So for all the instruments, for all the equipments that are being connected to the smart grid, it should be taken into account when we are making a planning and maintenance level. Next is going to be the energy auction level. Energy auction level is nothing but it will public resistance to deregulation, no time dependent pricing information is available to consumers, lack of consumer participation, lack of environmental credit and imposition of your taxes. So this is going to be your energy auction level. Next is going to be your system operation level. In the system operation level, a communication need to be done. So communication in the sense of how the power is going to get transmitted from your generating side to your end user side. What is the amount of power it is transmitting? What is the level of transmission? Whether it is going to transmit at a high end level or low end level. So all these terms has to be taken into account, and the lack of predictive real-time management tool for contingency planning should be taken into account. Predictive optimal power flow control software and hardware has to be taken into account. Lack of demand side load management technology has to be taken into account. Load side management, demand side management, customer side management, customer side computational tools, everything has to be taken into account, and it has to be properly communicated to the customer. Therefore, when you are going for the implementation of the smart grid, a meeting has to be arranged with the knowledge of the customer, with the knowledge of the end user. Then only from the end user side we will be obtaining the data such as what is the maximum power requirement, what type of load they are going to use, whether they are going to utilize the load continuously for all the 24 hours or it is going to be break from time to time. So all those data will be taken into account under system operation level. Next is going to be your device level. Device level in the sense we have to connect the smart meters. Smart meters can be connected throughout your circuit, and you have to identify where we need to connect the sensors, because power theft security level is more important in case of your smart grid, as there may be a chances for the end users to tap the power without knowing to the main power generating people. Therefore, the device level has to be enhanced in all aspects. Lack of predictive control signals to operate the device. Lack of location and time dependent pricing information is also required. Lack of energy storage device is also required. And fund development for the predictive control technology, and for deploying the same we need to offer the tax incentives and demand side management technology. So offer tax incentives for demand side management technology. So all these things has to be taken into account under device level. So these are all some of the barriers and solution to the smart grid development. So when we are perfectly following all the 4 levels here, then it is possible for us to obtain the complete scenario, complete structure, complete rules and regulations, and complete device related informations. Everything can be framed and everything can be utilized for the implementation of the smart grid. And also if the present smart grid has to be improved with respect to the technology, we have to check whether the system planned and the maintenance level given for the future adopted technology, for the future planning power, for the future required power. So all these things has to be taken into account in order to make the barrier small for the development of your smart grid. Next is going to be your system planning and maintenance level. System planning and maintenance level, under this, create and fund an intelligent grid of learning. Then mandate the consumer access to time dependent pricing information. Then offer tax incentives for deployment of predictive real time controls. Offer tax incentives for DSM. So system planning and maintenance level. So all these things, as we discussed in the previous slide, we have to focus on all these points. Next, system operation level. When you are going for the system operation level, the following points has to be taken into account. That is, fund development for predictive grid management and control technology, fund intelligent demonstration project, offer incentives, tax incentives for the deployment of smart control software and hardware, offer tax incentives for demand side management technology. Next is going to be the device level. In device level, fund development of predictive control technology, offer incentives for deployment of technology, offer tax incentives for demand side technology. All these things has to be taken into account. Now we are going for the smart grid using advanced optimization and control technique. This is going to be the block diagram that is representing the smart grid using advanced optimization and control technique. When doing so, here you have a criteria assessment tool for smart grid functions. So what are all going to be the smart grid functions? General level automation, bulk power system automation, distributed system automation, end user application level. So all these functions has to be focused in case of your smart grid advanced optimization control technology. And all the functions like controllability, adaptability, anticipatory behavior, stochasticity, reliability, sustainability, dynamics, robustness. This complete parameter need to be monitored, and it has to be recorded for assessing the tools that has been connected to the smart grid. In the next class, we will see in detail what is the smart grid and what generation level automation, bulk power system automation. If you are considering the generation level automation, for that reliability, stability, economic dispatch, unit commitment, security analysis, distributed generator control. So all this is going to be the important parameter under generation level automation. If you come back to your bulk power system automation, we'll have fault and stability diagnosis, reactive power control, network configuration, distributed generator control, and voltage VR control. So this is mainly meant for your power factor improvement. Why? Because reactive power control will lead to power factor improvement. Distributed generation control will make the system to distribute the power among themselves with respect to your renewable energy and conventional energy. Distribution system operation. So if your reactive power is not balanced automatically, then using the control system, we can maintain the power to some amount of power to be supplied to the source, and part of your amount will be supplied from the source depending upon whether the reactive power is more or less. In the next class, we will discuss in detail. Thank you, students.